This Gamebreaker interview is brought to you by Squarespace. For the ultimate all-in-one platform to get your blog or website or online store running, head on over to squarespace.com. Use the code Gamebreaker5 for a 10% discount. I like discounts. Hello, Internet. Magic Man here from Gamebreaker TV, and if you've been paying attention today, you've noticed quite a bit of WildStar information flowing through the website, and you know that I went to San Francisco to get some hands-on time with the game, learn some in-depth details about the Scientist and Settler classes, which were just fully revealed, and I even snaked some one-on-one time with executive producer Jeremy Gaffney from Carbine Studios. So here's the interview with Jeremy. Now, excuse the audio a little bit. We were in a room that was clearly bigger than a space that was intended for two people, so you might hear us shuffle some papers and a little bit of ceiling echo there, but there's all kinds of exciting information in there. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to roll some gameplay footage that I actually played in San Francisco of both the Scientist and the Settler. If you want some more details about this specific gameplay that's showing in the background, head on over to our gameplay piece that's also posted where I break what you're seeing down in a lot more detail. So enjoy the interview. All right, so we're here with Mr. Jeremy Gaffney from Carbine Studios, the team behind WildStar. Appreciate spending some time.
Hey, my pleasure.
Tell us a little bit first, a little introduction about yourself, just so everybody that doesn't know you can get to know you a little bit.
So, I'm Jeremy Gaffney. I am not just a member of the Hair Club for Men. I am also the president. I've been doing MMOs since like '93. Working on, I formed Turbine a million years ago. Did Asheron's Call. Worked on the Ultima Online series. Worked on Guild Wars and City of Heroes and Lineage
You're
1
just
and
name dropping left and right.
Stuff. Well, sorry, it's been a busy 2 decades.
So basically a ton of titles that everybody knows about.
Well, hopefully.
So what makes WildStar a little bit different then?
So I think right now in the industry, you're seeing games come out that maybe have like one thing different, and they, hey, it's all about hyping that, like, here's the one thing we do that's different. We're trying to have a solid core of cool stuff, get the MMO basics right, because it's very easy to screw those up, but then it's have a slew of things that are different, and so that's things like the path system, where you can choose your play style, and then have the content sort of form itself around that. It's having war plots, or you build giant fortresses, and you go capture raid bosses, pin them on your fortress, and go blow up other people's fortresses. It's about having a really different combat system that's not only is it action-based, but it's strategic. Lobby content, you get to see all these cool telegraphs and things appearing. High level, it's just like this big tapestry of awesome stuff happening in large-scale raids and in large-scale PvP, so that it actually pays off to be truly unique as you get to the higher levels. Because you're communicating. You're not just killing. You're communicating to your buddies in real time and not having to rely on Skype to hear some dude yelling more dots at you or having to type text in or whatever the hell. You can communicate by doing these telegraphs to blow stuff up. So the goal is do a slew of stuff differently and nail the basics as well.
Now, you mentioned the telegraph system, and I'm sure you've seen the comments on your own forums and YouTube and everywhere. Oh, the telegraph, that looks easy. This is new mode. What would you say to that?
Well, we throw it at noobs. Level 3, level 1, you're seeing telegraphs appearing already. This is the kind of stuff. Many games did basic telegraphs for maybe a raid or something like that.
Right.
Nope, for us it's level 1. You start seeing this kind of stuff. And so it gets more interesting. Every monster has a variety of attacks. Oh my god, you actually need to respond to what's happening in combat in real time to go deal with it. So we are rewarding you for moving. We're rewarding you for correctly interrupting or dodging, and you get more and more benefits for responding to these things. And so, hey, yeah, you're not a noob, you figured out how to dodge, but if you min-max, then you can actually, get more rewards by fighting cleverly and reacting to these things in the right way, solving little combat puzzles. And it's easy one-on-one, kinda. I mean, some of our stuff can kick your ass even one-on-one.
Oh, I'm getting my ass kicked left and right as level 7 right now.
Good, we've done our jobs correctly then. So one-on-one, we can do challenging fights, but then you fight a bunch of monsters, it's even more fun. You fight multiple people on multiple monsters, it gets even more fun, because now you're having to coordinate. Hey, the Spellslinger's going to put down a hell pit, and the Warrior's going to use his kick ability to kick people into it, to sort of drive all the monsters together. That's fun, that's fun in its complexity, and we couldn't get away with so much inter-class complexity if we didn't have the telegraph system as the core to build on to allow you to communicate using it.
So you've got classes, races, and paths you mentioned earlier. And a lot of our viewers are familiar with what you're trying to do with path, but maybe not the details, and certainly aren't familiar with what we've been looking at today, which was the settler and scientist. Tell us a little bit about those paths.
Okay, so your path is your play style. How do you like to play games? The two we're talking about, one is the settler, social gameplay. We reward you for doing social activities, and so you build a campfire, and the more players that use that campfire, you can plop it anywhere in the world. Again, it's a very sort of sandboxy element. And you've got to figure out where are you going to place this thing that gives a buff in the world where the most people use it. Because everybody uses it, they get a benefit, you get a benefit. And so that's a pretty interesting style gameplay. But it's also a building style. All that cool stuff we do with housing, all this cool stuff we do with war plots where you get to dig in the terrain and build new stuff. Settlers get to do that in quest hubs, in towns, I guess normal human beings call them. They could actually modify the area and make it better. Add new stuff to the taxi node, make a new puzzle appear, make a new quest giver or vendor or bank box or mailbox or all sorts of crap appear. They help build the world. And so it's an interesting style of gameplay, both for socializing, but also it's about people like investing in the real world. Now scientists, they're about two, also they're kind of hybrid. Story. Some people just geek out. They want to know more lore than anyone else. Awesome. You get a little scan bot. It's your little buddy. You can name it. You can customize it. You send it out to go explore stuff for you. You see something unusual. You send it out, and it'll make weird stuff appear. Hey, that flower turns out to be a giant monster. Hey, maybe it's trying to eat my head now. You study monsters and discover weaknesses so they're easier to fight. You unlock new lore in what we call the Galactic Archive. Some of that lore has rewards attached to it, like titles and things. So it's like, I've studied the wolves. I understand them now. Now I get the title of Wolf Lore Master, and I can now kill wolves faster. And that ties in the second part of the play style for them. It's not just story, it's also collection. It's like a fundamental human need to collect stuff. You see that you've got 9 things and you've got to get the 10th to complete the set. You got to catch them all. That's like fundamental human need stuff we're talking. And the scientists in particular embrace that. If you're like at 97% in Grand Theft Auto and you got to get it up to 100, you're going to probably enjoy the scientist a lot. If you are, we shall call it an achievement whore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That as soon as you started talking about scientists earlier, my brother's a huge MMO guy as well, but he's the achievement whore.
Yes.
And as soon as you were talking about it, it's like he has to play scientist.
We probably will not put it in quite that form on the box.
Oh, I'm sure. But roll achievement whore.
Exactly. That's our number one marketing tagline that we use for it. But that kind of play style, bam, scientist.
So you've mentioned today PvE in the form of dungeons and raids. Not only 5-man dungeons, and larger team raids, but back to basic big 20, 40-man type stuff as well, and PvP. You said something interesting this morning about the dungeons, the 5-man dungeons, not being easy.
Yeah.
And there was a specific reason for this.
So we're trying to do... we're a mixture of old school and new school. We're doing some stuff that's never been done before. War plots, the dynamic events, the raids, the raid dynamism, inter-raid competition, all that stuff. And then we like mixing that with old school stuff, like, big raids and that sort of thing. We make it hard for a reason. It's because there's enough games out there that already cater to the 99% or whatever it is, like the non-elite. We like a game for elitists. And why? It's because we're kind of elitists ourselves. And maybe we've gotten a little older, we have a few more kids, it's a little tougher to do it, but by God...
right there. Jeremy Gaffney, we are elitists.
Score! Cut and interview. And so we do a ton of stuff for the casual player, because we want casual people playing our game too. But our secret sauce, more than anything else, is... hey, we'll take the casual players, and the first monster they fight has a telegraph, and so they learn what was a raid mechanic in other games. And then they fight a horde of monsters, they've got to use AoE spells and learn all these tricks of this, and then they get in a little group combat, and now they're starting to communicate each other. We're creating a smooth path, because we want to turn our game into a big sausage-making machine. We're into it, poor newbies, and out of it, poor elitist players. See, there you go. There's your second headline.
There it is. That's the second line, the subheader. I mean, even your team was talking about today having a huge problem for an hour and a half on the final boss in one of the very first dungeons.
Well, and we're not scared of that. I mean, we want to tune it so it's fun. You know what I mean? But part of that is it's a challenge, and we tie our biggest rewards to things that are the hardest. And so the answer is not in your game turn everything easy. What it is reward you for doing the hard stuff so that there's a spectrum. If you want to do easy stuff, awesome. You can do it. You're going to progress a little slower. That's okay. You're still going to get through it all. And then the hard stuff, you put a big reward, put a big carrot for it, and now all of a sudden you can be one of the few who can actually manage to do it. That doesn't scare us. That is good game design, not bad. When parts of your game are harder than others and you feel like a champ, when you actually manage to get a good group of friends together and you can actually solve that stuff and get through it, that's what makes friendships, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what makes you enjoy playing with your buddies, and it also makes you find new friends and then group with them for a long time. And then you play the game longer, and then we make tons of money.
Right. It's a vicious circle.
Yeah, well, the last part isn't actually all that vicious. I like that part. Maybe I admit as a player perspective, maybe that's more vicious.
So you talked about war plots, which kind of goes with the whole housing concept too, and building your own environment. Tell us a little bit about both of those systems.
So war plots is like housing built to crush. The housing system is it's a place to have a safe spot in the game, and so you can build up your house, you can decorate it. We like things that are not just for looks, we like systems, and so if you decorate your house well, you can get more rest XP. You go outside, you start digging up different chunks of the ground and plant a garden, or you get a big trampoline that lets you fly up through floating crystals, or you put a new taxi station in, so now you can taxi back and forth to your house. And we want you to customize this stuff so that your house is not a clone of everyone else's. So when you get your garden, maybe just even doing the newbie quests, unlocking your house plot, you might find a free one. Hey, a free herb garden, there's herbs on it. Cut them down, get new stuff. Well, you get plants and you get seeds. Seeds you stick back in your garden. There's rare spawns. So our cycle is more, you wake up in your house, yay, you got some new rest XP. You go outside, ooh, look at the flowers that bloomed, and now I got some cool rare stuff out of that. Ooh, I'm going to take some of those rare spawns and replant the new rare seeds I got back in my garden. I go out, I fight, adventure, come back, and wata, I've got a new bunch of stuff to plant, I harvest my stuff, I go to sleep in my house where the best rest XP in the game is, and I come back another day knowing that all these things are going to sort of be paying off the next day. You know, Animal Crossing, awesome game. They nailed that arc of I dug up a fossil, but I've got to identify it, I'm going to mail it off, and I'm going to wake up early tomorrow morning and find out what I got. And so we want some of that fun in the game.
Sign in before I go to work.
Yes. But all that sounds pretty Care Bear. And it's not, because you can do stuff like dig a dungeon in your house and that sort of thing. Spoiler, well, we were off at PAX. We've never announced housing dungeons before, but we've had it as a concept for a while. Dig a hole, it's full of goblins, go kill the goblins, and now you get to harvest gold out of the mine and stuff like that. So the team, when all the senior management was off at PAX, were like, screw that, we want these things. We never announced them, so we were like, maybe we'll cut them. Now they said to hell with that. They came in over the weekend, they knocked out 8 housing dungeons while all the senior manager types were off at PAX. And so now we have housing dungeons. And it's because the team cares, The team gives a crap, which is kind of nice. It's also probably because things happen faster when senior management is all off at PAX. That might also be
right. Yeah, when the boss is away.
Yes. So there is non-Care Bear stuff for housing, like daily quest or repeatable quest or things that make things spawn in on your land. But where the true non-Care Bear housing is war plots, because that is big communal places, fortresses. You build the battlefield yourself, and then we plug it into the world where you can go fight against other player-made battlefields and just beat the crap out of it. And it's best when it ties into other systems. Capture a raid boss, pin it down, send it out to destroy the enemy fortress. That's cool stuff. Or earn it by getting into these big battles, and then winners and losers are unlocking new things to be able to add into your war plot. Have different tiers of it, so you can have newbie guilds do this stuff as well as the hardcore guilds. And you're fighting against people of your level. It's a very interesting set of systems. And we'll do a bigger reveals of those in 3 or 4 months probably. We'll probably start doing all that. But right now we're having fun running around killing each other in it. And soon our closed beta people will be running around killing each other in it, and then we'll let the world go run around and basically destroy huge chunks of the planet by beating each other up.
All right, a couple rapid fire true false type things.
Okay,
you ready?
Speed round.
Yep. There are over 200 plus hours of content currently in WildStar.
True. Way over.
Wow.
And even though it's just solo, here, no, not true false, even though it's just solo content, there'd be that much. But never mind, trade skill content, dungeon content, raid content. No, there's more.
For as complex as the pathing system is, it actually only comprises about 20 to 25% of your game experience.
Yes. We don't believe in single big hype points and hinge your whole game on it. We believe in lots of little individual things that have never been done before, tied up in a big thing. It sucks for marketing because we'd love to be like, it's Paz, it's all Paz. No, Paz is one of many awesome things.
And puzzles in the game for multiple different paths.
Yep.
Randomize.
True.
So that you cannot find the solution on the internet.
True. In fact, we hate things that have walkthroughs. We love things that have strategy guides. Every system in the game, we try to make it have a strategy guide and not a walkthrough.
Right. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. Release date.
So, the first day of when it's ready.
All right. I was planning right about that. Good. So I made my vacation already.
Oh, sweet.
And payment model still unknown or undisclosed.
It is undisclosed, but not unknown. I will say that it's a hybrid model. You know, we're not really going for a simple model.
Fair enough. Thank you for spending some time with us, Jeremy.
Hey, my pleasure.